What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. We are going to be getting into episode 18 of my season predictions videos. Today, it is the Detroit Lions. We have done the entire AFC and the Green Bay Packers. For the Lions to win this division, they would have to beat out Green Bay's record, which is right now 7-8, minusing, of course, the 2 games against Detroit that we still need to predict. But in here. So let's get into it. Starting out with this first game here, we have the Lions versus the Chiefs. The Lions get the honor of playing the first game of the NFL against Kansas City. It's a very tough game, though, against Patrick Mahomes. I do think that the Lions will ultimately end up losing that game, but it could be competitive. The Lions are a good team this season. Moving on, we have the game against the Seahawks at home. I think they're going to be able to get this done to get the first win of the year on their home opener. We move on to the Falcons game. Falcons, not a bad team there by any means, but I do think the Lions being at home can win that one. Then they go straight back, have to travel to Green Bay for a Thursday night game. I'm giving this one to Detroit, though on the road, I think that the Packers falter in that one. So the Detroit Lions find themselves at 3-1 here. They move. Sorry. Um, They move on to a game against the Carolina Panthers, and I'm going to give this one to Detroit again against Bryce Young. The Panthers may be a decent team this season, but I don't think Bryce Young is going to lead them enough here against the Lions, so the Lions get the job done. We move on. So the Lions have had a very good start to the year. We move on to this Buccaneers game, and unfortunately, I do think this is where the Lions fall, is to Tampa Bay. On the road, the Buccaneers kind of coming off a bye week and at home. I do think that the Lions are just clearly the better team, but I don't think it's going to be enough. They're going to fall in that one. We move on to the Ravens game on the road against the Ravens here. I think that the Lions lose that one. So 2 straight losses there to fall to 4-3. Ravens, really good team. That's going to be a tough one on the road. We move on to the Raiders, and now that's a much easier game, especially with being at home there. I think that at home, the Lions are going to be able to really just dominate that one. That one shouldn't really be a primetime game, in my opinion, but it is, and the Lions will win it. So we have the bye week here. We're moving on to week 10. The Lions going into this bye here at 5-3. Tough game against the Chargers, but I do think that the Lions actually pull off an upset against the Los Angeles Chargers. Coming off this bye week, I think that's going to help them out quite a bit. I know it's a tough one on the road, but I do think that they're going to be able to get it with the win there with that bye. They move on to the Bears here, and I'm giving this one to the Lions at home as well. We move on to the Packers game, another Thursday night game. I believe this one's Thanksgiving, yeah. I think that the Packers upset Detroit here with the win, and they move on. I think that the Lions don't sweep the Packers this season. That's what I'm getting at. We move on to the Saints game. I think that the Lions can bounce back there, though, with that mini bye, as you see there, coming off Thursday night. I think that the Saints fall in that one. We move on to the Bears game again. I think that the Bears even the series with Detroit there. Really good game against the Broncos, but I'm going to give this one to the Lions at home on Saturday. A Saturday game. The Lions can get the job done. Moving on to the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings at home. I think that the Lions lose that one being on the road there. A Cowboys game, another Saturday game here for Detroit. A very tough game going on the road for the Lions there. So we get a very important final game here against Minnesota. The Lions find themselves at 9-7, so they beat out the Packers, but they still have the Bears and the Vikings to deal with when we get to those videos. I don't think that the Vikings sweep the Lions here. I'm giving this one to Detroit. So that is going to be the Lions here. They finish with a 10-7 record. On the year, pretty good. They improve 1 game from last year. I think that's what they're going to do. I didn't like their odds. I think they could have done a lot more with their offseason, drafting that running back wasn't great. Campbell's going to help them out winning wise. This defense, I think, is going to get better, and this offense is very explosive. And if Jared Goff can play like he did last year, I think that this Lions team is going to hover around 10-7 here. The division, I think that the division can be even this season. We see a 3-3 split in that division, 7-5 here in the conference. That does mean that they end up going 3-2 in the AFC. They do finish 7-1 at home and 3-6 on the road, so not bad on either of those really. And then ignore all these. But anyway, guys, that is your Detroit Lions. They finished 10-7. Will it be enough to beat out a team like the Vikings, who are a very good regular season team, as we saw last year, or we've seen in the past that they're just not a team that you want to play, but just like a mediocre team. And we're gonna see if that's gonna be the Vikings. But anyway, guys, thank you all for watching. Peace out.